can't be so happy to change it to up your life. You know how many celebrities went to Diddy's house thinking they was finna dance?
When you give up those things, like when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there.
This isn't just another Diddy scandal. This is two men. One a comedic prophet, the other a Hollywood A-lister finally saying what everyone else only whispers. Katt Williams warned us. Terrence Howard lived it. And now they're done staying quiet. For years, they were called crazy, angry, difficult. But maybe the real reason they were blackballed is because they refused to play the game. The private invitations, the strange rooms at the mansion, the price no one talks about until now. The stories have circled for years. Whispered in green rooms, hinted at in interviews, passed around like secrets too dangerous to speak out loud. A-list parties with no phones allowed. Black SUVs pulling up at midnight. Private rooms behind the private rooms, and a strange kind of invitation that didn't always feel like a choice. But for a long time, that's all they were stories until Terrence spoke up.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to, That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody.
In March 2024, federal agents raided Diddy's homes in LA and Miami. They found surveillance systems, dozens of NDAs, and, according to reports, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Diddy's lawyer tried to explain it away, claiming he bought them at Costco. Costco themselves came forward and denied ever selling it. That detail, strange as it sounds, echoed something fans of Katt Williams had already heard years earlier.
Be so happy to change shit to up your life. You know how many celebrities went to Diddy's house thinking they was finna dance? How does that feel? You a grown-ass man. You gotta leave Diddy's party like that. You can't even sit down in the car. You gotta drive all the way home, standing up. Can't roll the window down. You roll the window down, that breeze hit that open hole and start blowing and start saying, 1,000 bottles of baby. It ain't that much ass in the world. Everybody know that. Diddy's dumbass lawyer said, you probably got it at Costco. I done said too much. Said I wasn't gonna do this. I was just gonna tell my jokes. Get the up out of here. But 1,000 bottles of baby oil? It wasn't just what they found. It's what they didn't find. It was 233 cameras in that house. In one house. But what didn't they find? It wasn't one Bible in that. Wasn't no living plants in that motherfucker with no vitamins and no handcuff keys.
To some, it sounded like a wild punchline, but to others, it was a warning. Because for Katt, this wasn't just about one man. It wasn't just about Diddy. It was about a pattern, a ritual baked into the machinery of fame itself. When you're famous enough and protected enough, the rules bend. And when no one's watching or when everyone's too scared to speak, those private parties turn into pressure cookers. Power becomes the currency, and silence becomes the contract. In Hollywood, there's a myth we all love to believe. That talent rises, that hard work gets rewarded, that the best man wins. But behind the scenes, there's another reality. Sometimes the only way to rise is to say yes. And sometimes the only way to survive is to say no. Terrence Howard said no. Not just once, but every time the industry came with quiet proposals and private invitations, and every time he refused, another door closed.
Number of producers coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing. And I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means everything.
He didn't play gay roles. He didn't fake the flirt. He didn't take the money and look away. And as the roles dried up and the headlines twisted his name, the silence from the industry was loud. Turned down cash. He turned down comfort, safety, superstardom. He turned down the fast track in exchange for telling the truth. And the price of that decision wasn't just missed checks or pulled roles. It was targeted press hits, late-night mugshot, rumors crafted to erase credibility, and questions designed to make him look unhinged. To speak out is one thing. To keep speaking after they try to bury you, that's something else entirely. These men didn't just say no to parties, they said no to a machine, and that kind of defiance doesn't go unpunished.
They don't want him or me or people like us. Yeah. But now it's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung a million times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me a million times. Right. I'm still not going to join, but I respect it a little more.
All right. How do you handle that? Because they put your name in the press with a lot of rumors and a lot of situations that they try to put on Katt Williams. Do you feel ever the need to, like, I got to go defend this and put out a story about who I am, or do you just let that kind of like roll off your back when
Well, as you can see, I've let it all go for quite some time, and a lot of that is just based upon the fact that I don't really know how to complain because all of the people that I ever looked up to had to go through it too. So I know how much they talked about Martin Luther King, and I know what they end up doing to him. I know this same story about Jesus and a few of my uncles. So now I know that if your mouth is really, really big and you try to tell the truth for a living and you like to air people out, hatred is coming your way. I didn't know it was going to be this type of hatred, but you know, I'm concrete in all things because of He who strengthens me. So that doesn't mean I always make the right decisions, but I am going to stand by what I stand.
It's easy to laugh when Katt Williams makes these wild, chaotic claims on stage. It's easy to think he's exaggerating, just another comedian going off script. But when the headlines catch up to the punchlines, suddenly the jokes don't feel that funny anymore. They start to feel like warnings we didn't listen to. Because Katt's not just talking about parties or preferences. He's describing a system built on silence, secrecy, and submission where power isn't just flexed. It's ritualized.
These things that I'm saying in Hollywood exist in religious circles, in politics, in the medical profession. If it's car theft and we're going to accuse you of having a carjacking ring, right? We're going to begin by bringing in people that we caught.
When Diddy's homes were raided in 2024, the media focused on the baby oil, the NDAs, the surveillance systems. But Katt saw something different.
He saw a chessboard.
He saw how one powerful figure gets squeezed to pressure everyone else in the circle. That's not just a joke anymore. That's a confession wrapped in comedy. And it's not just about baby oil. It's about how normal gets weaponized, how innocence becomes a cover, and how the game plays you while you think you're just networking. Because these aren't just eccentric habits or isolated events. They're rituals, patterns, and the moment you start seeing them, you can't unsee them. You flip the pawns to get the king, or maybe flip the king to catch the rest. And in Katt's world, that's not speculation, that's strategy.
I understand what is worth doing for ratings. I understand what is worth doing when the industry is canceling one black guy. I know what happens when they are going to elevate another. And I know what happens when they don't care about either one. This is how quarterbacking go. So the question is, hey, your quarterback just got sacked. Did we know we was fin to sack your quarterback? We absolutely did. It was a play, buddy. We've been rehearsing it, working it out, making sure that at some point, when you get to this level, we can make sure we knock you from a $20 million man to putting in the news that people won't hire you no more and your career is done. Yeah.
So you said it was a setup.
In most industries, when someone exposes corruption, they get protected. In Hollywood, they get erased, labeled bitter, crazy, problematic. Not because they're lying, but because the truth breaks the illusion. And nobody breaks the illusion. Like Katt Williams, they put the D's in the baby oil. Williams added, "You think you're getting a massage, B? You can't even get up. That's why God gave me eczema. I can't even use baby oil in the baby oil."
They put the in the baby oil. You thinking you getting a massage, you can't even get up. That's why God gave me eczema. I can't even use